Hey guys, I'm Ash.
And I'm Pete.
We're two friends with a combo of 7 kids ranging from toddlers to 20s and 2 crazy husbands.
Our paths were not easy. With childhood battle wounds, divorce, second marriages and all, we somehow found each other. And together we talk real life, laugh, cry, and figure out how to survive the day.
Music is by Dustbowl Champion. To hear Dustbowl Champion's newest hits, search Dustbowl Champion on Spotify. Hey guys, it's Ash and P.
Oh my gosh. Hi. Hello.
I don't know what I was about to say, but I wasn't going to say that. And so I was like, oh, I don't know.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
Yay.
Happy New Year's Eve. Yay. Very exciting. What are you doing this evening?
Well, we're super fancy living in Las Vegas. And so we're doing a 6 p.m. dinner and then we're home. We did
a 6 p.m. dinner feels like a good time to do dinner though.
Yeah. No, we've been wanting to go to this really, really nice sushi restaurant in town. And we always say like, we're going to go. We never go. And so I told Tony a few weeks ago, I said, let's just make a reservation, not an appointment, not a doctor. Make a reservation at a nice restaurant, pick the restaurant wherever you want to go, and then let's take the kids to a really nice dinner. And
so he picked?
So that's what he picked. So we're going to sushi.
That's good.
It's in the casino, so it'll be fun. I don't know, depending on how long dinner lasts, they may try to shoo us out early. I have no idea. 'Cause I don't know how busy they'll be, but there are fireworks on the lake at 9, which would be really fun for the girls to do.
Yeah. And that's not too late.
It's not too late. But we'll see. Otherwise, we'll just come home. I was going to pull out some of our puzzles and our board games. We had family night this weekend. We played Kids versus Grown-ups.
Oh, okay.
Have you played this?
I've not, but I've heard about it and I have wanted to play it.
Okay. Whatever, I don't know if there's like multiple of this game or if it's just one, but whatever addition that we had to this game, I would encourage you not to buy. I would say get another one.
That's not a game that we bought you guys in the past?
No, it's not. My parents bought it for us, and actually we still had a really good time and it was a lot of fun. The girls had a blast. Tristan was all into it. Tristan and Tony though are like my 2 gamers, and so they get a little competitive. And they are like, I'm like, hey, like, let's like tone it down and remember this is a game. We don't have to be so angry with our
fun.
Yeah. Like I can't guess anything. And Tony's like, he's like, he's getting angry with me. And I'm like, how about just shut up? Okay. I am like, I don't know what happens. As much as I could be a competitive person when it comes to like being like physical and athletic and things, I am so not competitive when it comes to like games for some reason. I'm very like, let's just really enjoy
games.
Yeah, I would say I do. I would just say that I just want to have a good time. It's like, to me, it's like, it's so not a competitive thing. Like you can't take it serious. I just feel like it's like not a serious thing. And I feel like, then there's people that really get into the game. I'm sure you're one of those.
I love.
But let me tell you what's wrong with this game. This game
inappropriate?
No, it's not inappropriate at all. But it's like, it's got to be European. That's all I can say, because the questions are like, what European F-150 champion, name one F-150 champion. We're like, what the fuck? I don't fucking know.
That's kind of a hard, that would be a hard question, I feel like, for a group of us adults.
Yes.
And maybe because we're not into F-150, I don't know.
But another thing was like, Um,
I'm gonna Google this now.
name a European capital or something, and it's like,
Paris?
yeah, I'm like,
Is that one? I don't know.
It's London.
Yeah, so all of them were geared toward Europe.
Yes. So that's the only thing that I did not like about the game, because I was like, this is not an American game because these are not American questions. Like,
Yeah.
So it was a little like, this, we're not going to get this. Like okay, but it is really funny, and it is really fun because it breaks up the two. So the question is either for adults or for kids. So it gives you two different questions to try to get your team to guess, right? But some of them are drawings. And so, like, to have to draw, or some of them are charades. And so some to have to act out. But it's not all of that. So some of it is questions.
I love that though.
So it's just a good mix of it, which I really, really liked. We had so much fun with. Dani was like, please, I want charades. I want charades. Well, she finally got charades. She's not going to be an actress, just letting everyone know. She's not going to be an actress.
Maybe she'll be like, maybe not an actress, but maybe because she is hilarious.
She's hilarious.
And she's so sassy that I feel like she would be a great, like, public figure kind of person, right? She's just a hoot.
Her like facial expressions are just outrageously perfect.
Since she was
insane.
Little.
I know. It's just like, I had her bring me my phone from, like, my phone is upstairs. We have a 2-story. So I'm always like trying to bribe the kids to go get my stuff from upstairs when I'm downstairs. And so I tell her, can you please get me my phone from upstairs? She's like, oh, Mom. I'm like, please, it's in my bathroom. And I left it up there when I was getting ready, and Mommy really needs it. And I love you so much. And you're my favorite. I just love you so much. Like, I'm trying to like pump her. And she's like, did Dad go up and use the bathroom already? And I was like, no. And she's like, okay, good. And then she goes up and she comes downstairs and she grabs it and she's holding it and she's like,
uh-oh.
And I go, what? And Tony's sitting there and she goes, luckily Dad didn't use the bathroom. I got your phone. I'm like, okay, Miss Expressions, like, just expressions.
I love it though. And she's always been that way. Like,
I know.
She would just go like, and you're like, okay, sorry. Is this the game?
Yes, that's the game.
So I kind of think that maybe that is not the game that I'm talking about. Maybe mine's Kids versus Parents, the one that I'm thinking of that I've wanted to play.
Did you just say Mines?
Did I? I
did.
didn't mean to. Oh, like maybe mine is Kids versus Parents.
We always make fun of the kids for saying that. And they're like, Mines is over there. And I'm like,
no,
okay, Mines.
Mine's was mine is. Not like I was saying it was mine. But okay, so I think yours is European.
See, and I'm like,
it was on Talking Table UK. So yeah, that one is Kids versus Parents. I think is the game that I've heard about a lot, and I've wanted to play.
The American version of that, I will Amazon order us both that for our families, because it really is a super fun game. It's just that some of the questions I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And why am I drawing a detective up at the Leaning Tower of Pisa or something? It was like, what the hell was European? Oh,
girls are like, we have no idea what that is.
Draw a construction worker.
Similar to that?
No.
They're probably completely different games.
Yeah. Well, no, hold on. Let me see it again.
Oh,
no,
well,
that is right. Okay, it is similar to that, except they just had more roads that you could choose from.
Okay. Got it.
But no, it is
That's
similar to that.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, now I kind of want to play it just because I wanna see all of
Well,
these European things that
we
we
can
don't know.
play it with J-pop on Monday, I guess, because I just looked at my calendar and realized that he's here next week already.
Yes, I know. I'm like, "Oh, cool, thanks." So, I have asked him a few things like, "Hey, so the boys have this appointment." This is, like, weeks ago, right? And I guess I'm gonna have to reschedule it because I don't want like, they scheduled it at a time that isn't I made them reschedule it because I told you about that, right? The eye
Uh,
appointment?
no.
Okay. So, my kids, the boys, 17 and 15, they've had the same eye doctor forever. Your old eye doctor. Same eye
Oh,
doctor since Hayden's been going to the eye doctor, which then Jackson, obviously, we had both of them go at the same time, but since he was in third grade. So they've been going to the same location, same doctor the entire time. So now that they can drive, I tell them, hey, okay, your appointment is at this time. I want to use as little sick time as possible. So you guys, I'm going to call you guys out of school. You guys drive over there. I will meet you there because I know there's going to be a little bit of a wait in the beginning. So I will meet you guys there and I'll be there before they call you back. So they go. I have not left work yet, thankfully. And I get a call from, I think it was Jackson, or maybe it was a text. Hey, mom, um, is our eye doctor by John's Incredible Pizza?
oh no.
Yes. I'm like, no, it's by the hospital, the same place it has always been. And
So Hayden put it in his phone, is what
Hayden put it
happened,
in
right?
his phone, surprisingly, because I feel like he never puts anything in his phone, but he put it in his phone. He went to Fresno. I don't know why he didn't go to, I was like, well, thank goodness you guys didn't end up in Visalia.
Yeah, really.
But I'm like, what the heck? Why would you even go to get on the freeway when you know obviously he does not know these types of things,
Yeah.
but I'm like, and then I started thinking, I thought I put it in the calendar. A lot of times, even though we know these locations, I will still put in like the address, where it says like location, like their dentist I always put that in there, that kind of thing. And I was like, I bet I put that address in there. No, I did not put the address in there.
It
So I was like,
wasn't you.
oh. So what'd you say?
I said it wasn't you.
Well, it was, I guess, my fault that I didn't confirm that he knew where he was going. My fault that I didn't put the address in there. But I was just like, okay, I feel like if you look it up, you should have known it was Clovis because, I mean, they know it's right by the hospital. So dumb.
Our
So,
kids are dumb.
so then I was like, I want Hayden. I'm on the phone with him at this point. I want you to call and I want you to reschedule the appointment. Make sure that it's on this day or that day, like days that don't conflict with Jackson's band, this
Mhm.
day or that day. And I want it as late as possible because I want to not have to use sick time. So they, then I get a text from Jackson. Okay, it's rescheduled for this date at this time. Like it's like 1:50. I'm like, I get off at 4:30. So I'm looking like, can you do like a 4 o'clock appointment? So I'm
Yeah.
using like as minimal sick time. But I was like, and so I'm like, did you schedule or did your brother? Because Hayden does not like to do that kind of thing. So he makes his 15-year-old brother make phone calls for him. I'm like, you are so weird, which is good for Jackson because
Well,
Jackson
know what to
scheduled the
do.
appointments and stuff, but I'm like,
Yeah. But
gosh.
also he's going to be 18 very soon, and so he's probably going to need to figure that out.
Well,
Yeah.
he did ask me. He was like, "Mom, so like when I'm 18, what am I gonna do like when I have to go to the doctors?" I'm like, "You're gonna go to the doctors." What do you mean? What are you gonna do? Like, go. He's like, "Well, like, how am I gonna know, like, when I should schedule it and stuff? I'm like, okay, well, you're gonna know what your schedule is. So you will schedule it based on your schedule. I'm not going with you to the doctor anymore when you're 18. So do it for whatever works best for your schedule. So yeah, I had told Jason about how I was so frustrated that I was gonna have to do that, or that I was gonna have to reschedule it. And Jason's like, "Oh, I think I can take him, blah blah blah." And then no, he can't take them.
Because he's here with
Also,
us.
yeah, and he's like, um, he told me that for River has to get a teeth cleaning, and so I was like, um, I need to know your schedule because like they get booked up so fast. Like I need to get it scheduled, and I need to know what will work for you. I just need you to drop them off. All you have to do is drop them off in the morning. I'll pick them up. Like it's fine. You don't have to be in town the whole time, just like in the morning. I think they can be I want to say they can get dropped off at like 8, maybe 7:30 is like the earliest they can be dropped off or something like that. So I'm like, okay, whatever, what day does this work for you? Okay. So I'm like, okay, schedule it. Then he asked me last night, hey, when is his appointment? And I'm like, the 13th. And he goes, okay. I was like, I just need you to take him in the morning. Just like drop him off in the morning and then I'll pick him up after work. And he's like, okay, I fly out at 6. I'm like, okay, so you won't be able to do that. That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like, and at the beginning of the year, honestly, up until like the last quarter of the year, I hate because he is always gone. Like
Gone. Yeah.
he almost never does his closer locations in the very beginning part. And
Yeah.
so I hate it so much, because he's always gone, mainly because it's like I have to do all of these stupid appointments, you know? So annoying.
Is Hayden like in school all day long? Like, does he have classes all periods? So he's not like helpful yet.
He does, but like, do you mean like helpful for to take River or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, well, for oh gosh, I guess I don't know when does second semester start right when they go back to school? Do you
Mm-hmm.
remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So so first period and second period for him have been super easy because he was like in econ, did really well in it. So like his teacher was super lenient with him. And then second period he's a TA, so even if he didn't show up his teacher wouldn't care. And so in the morning he would be helpful except now he's going to government. So
No,
it'll be like the
different teacher.
second week that he's in there.
Yeah.
So I guess he won't be helpful there. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll ask Steven if he can take him or something.
There you go. Okay, so as we are wrapping up the crazy 2024, I feel like this year has like had 9 lives. Like it was all over the place. This year was crazy to me.
All over, so long and so short,
Yeah.
all at
Yep,
once.
all at once. Um what are you guys doing? Resolutions, goals, anything like that? What are you going to do? Like, do you write them down? Do you not do them at all? Do you say, fuck it, I'm living my best life and I don't need any resolutions because I'm the best me? What, what are you doing tonight?
I am definitely not the best me. So, I am not like, "Ugh, I'm so good." But no, we never write them down. We never make resolutions or anything like that. Super sad situation for me. So, I'm making these changes. Yay to my last swap with the beverage like
Cheers.
that.
Cheers.
Cheers. Um, but is that a gin and juice?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Sure is.
So I am changing my eating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, changing
Yeah, you're going
a lot of that stuff. So
JRFK Jr.
yeah, like you like to say, JRFK Jr.
Mhm.
So I am really sad because I found two things in the fridge last night that they're not horrible. They're like they're actually probably like for a prepackaged thing, they're very healthy, I think. They're like paleo stuff, so it's not horrible, but they're not things that we will be eating in the future. But I'm not willing to get rid of them. So I'm not going to, don't tell my kids because my kids are not going to know that we're technically not starting all of this stuff until the 3rd because tomorrow and the next day we'll have those foods. But I'm not letting them know about it because the rest of everything they're going to have to eat fresh and healthy.
So
Sorry.
has because so obviously I was just at your house for Christmas and I
Mhm.
know what is in your cabinets or what is in your
Yes.
pantry, what is in your fridge. So what do you do with all of that food?
So it's really funny. Jackson goes, he's like, so what's happening with this? And I'm like, well, I said, starting tomorrow, meaning today, I was like, I'm going to pull everything out that we're not going to be using. And I'll essentially, like, I'll ask my brother and his wife, like, will your kids eat any of this? Like, is this anything that you guys would want? Um, and if not, then I'll see if malls, I don't know what kind of stuff malls um keeps at home, but I'll ask her if she wants any of
I'm
it.
going to go ahead and guess and say that they eat everything and anything.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
I don't Well, I feel like she cooks so much more than I do,
For sure she does. Yes.
So I don't know how much of like non stuff. So I'll basically be doing that, like, who will take this? Because I need to get rid of it. And Jackson goes, first of all, he wasn't even asking about that when he was like, what are we doing with this? He was talking about the stuff I'm gonna be hanging on the walls. And I'm like, oh, he goes, but tomorrow's not the 1st. And I was like, yeah, I know. So you better enjoy whatever's in there. I'm going to start pulling it out on the I'm going to start pulling it out on the 31st because it's going to need to get out of here. So I need to send pictures, like, who will take this?
So Jax and Hayden are sitting right now in the pantry on the floor, just eating their lives away,
Eating and
playing their
crying.
video games.
Eating and crying. Yeah.
No.
I know. I know. And so it's like, I asked Jason, like, for tonight's dinner, he'll be barbecuing. I'm like, do we need like any bread or anything like that? And he's like, so he looks, because we're at Costco. He's like looking in like the bakery section, and he's like, that's like way too much bread for one night. Like, they basically like, what's the point in buying it? We're gonna have to get rid of it. I'm like, well, we can send the rest home with Nancy. I don't know how much like bread they eat, but I was like, we could send it home with them or give it away, whatever. I don't know. So before the holiday season, or like, I guess when it all started, Jason went and grabbed some baking things for me because I was like, well, we've got to get rid of a bunch of the stuff. Like, I had like chocolate chips and stuff like that I was like, we've got to get rid of this. So I need you to grab a couple more things. And he bought like all this flour, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess people can have brand new bags of flour. I don't know. I mean, I know I can still make cookies for other people, so it's not like I have to get rid of it,
But
but
you're
how
probably not
often am I
going
gonna
to.
do it? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like,
This
by the time
probably
I
would
get
have
around
been,
to it, will it be bad?
yeah, this would have been the season for it if you were
Yeah,
going to do it anyway.
exactly. And it's like,
Yeah.
there's just way too much of it. We already baked like multiple batches, and I still have
Okay,
extra
so
flour.
your biggest thing is you're changing your entire way of eating for your entire family, which is a
Yeah,
huge, huge change for 2025.
yeah.
And you start on the 3rd. So we are going
Don't
to
tell the boys.
record.
We start on the 1st for the boys.
Okay, you start on the 1st. So we are going to record the following Sunday, which is the 5th.
Okay.
And I would like an update on where we are with this.
if my kids have murdered me yet or anything
Yes,
like that.
yes. I'll see
Yeah.
if you get back on or not, or if it's just the real P show because Ash is no longer living.
Yeah.
Her boys went savage on her.
I know. Yeah. So that's all we're doing. We won't be writing it down. We don't do anything like that, but we will be making that change.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll let you know. It'll only technically only be a couple days into it on
Okay.
the 5th. But
Anything else? Anything like internal, personal, mental?
I will be like making sure I'm reading the Bible every day. So I will be doing that.
I have a question
And
about that because I
yes.
read in the mornings. Okay, so I get up and that's the first thing I do is I read and then I pray and then I go work out. And how much do you typically read at a time? I'm not a big reader. And so like I get through like not that it's not even that it's not like interesting or anything like that to me. It's just that like I feel like for me I can stick to it more if it's like a regiment like I'm doing. Like I get up, I read, I pray, I work out. So I fit it into that box. But if I just went to just start reading, or like I thought about reading at night, like before I go to bed, but
That would be bad.
I feel like I would fall asleep reading, you
Yes.
know? And
Yes.
so I feel like that way I get through, it's like I can do a chapter like I do, like
Yeah.
one chapter and then I know, and then I start then I go on with the next step and the next step and the next step. But is that not enough? Sometimes I feel like I'm not giving it enough if I'm only reading one chapter.
So when you say one chapter, do you mean Mark 1,
Yes.
Mark 1, 1 through
30 or
156 or
whatever.
whatever
Yeah.
it is? Yeah. Um I mean, I don't think that there's a too little that you could be doing, right? I think the fact that you're in it each day is what's important. Um I will be doing like a read through the Bible in a year thing.
Oh,
So
wow.
I
Okay.
have like specific chapters that I have to read each day
Okay.
to get through the entire Bible in a year. But like that one, oh gosh, I wish I had it right here by me. That is different than what I've ever done before. Like so in December I was doing reading like one chapter of Luke every single day, and it basically was like the
That's
beginning
so
of.
funny. That's
Is that what
exactly
you
where
were
I
doing?
am right
Yeah.
now. That's
Oh,
well,
is
because it was our homework for December was to
oh,
read the
okay.
book of Luke. And
Yes.
so I'm reading the book of Luke right now.
Yeah. So, um, like I it sounded like there was a car or something here. Um, but so I would do that, and then before that, I was doing I was reading a book of Matthew. Like I was reading the
Hmm.
book of Matthew, so I read a
That's where I was
chapter of
too.
Matthew a day. Um so it was just like depending on what I was trying to do. This one will be more like it's kind of all over the place. So it could be like read Luke chapter 1, Genesis 1 through 3, and Exodus 4 through 8. It's kind of
Okay.
all over.
And is
Um
this through your church, through a class? Is it just something you found online? Like,
It is a reading plan that the church has put out. They've put this out for years. They've put it I'm looking cuz I'm like I probably have one of the older ones just sitting around that I never got to. Um but I'm guessing it's probably something that's published like in a lot of different places. It's not just like our church. I'm guessing our
yeah,
church got it from somewhere, but
yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah.
Very
But
cool.
that's what I'll be doing. But I think, I mean, honestly, like before I started like reading in the Bible, I would just do like my daily verse. Like so it was just a verse, not even like a full chapter.
Yeah.
So I think it's really just like getting into it, right?
Well, it's funny because so I was excited because um Ash got me a prayer journal, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so excited for this. This looks awesome. Like this looks so great." And then I got a text today from one of the new moms that she's a mom, she's actually a stepmom at the school. And she also works at the school,
Oh,
and she's also a leader in my RCIA class. And so
oh,
I had sent her an invite for Georgia's birthday party, which is in a few weeks, for her daughter. And we're going back and forth. And she's like, also side note, I'm doing a little faith inspired sisterhood book club through 2025. Would love for you to join.
oh, that's
And
cool.
I know. And it's like the well watered woman rooted in truth, growing in grace, flourishing in faith. And I'm like,
I
oh,
like
that's
that.
so cute. So I
Are you
like
gonna
those
do
types
it?
of, yeah, I think I will. Yeah,
Good.
definitely.
You'll have to
Yeah.
keep us updated on that.
Yeah.
Um, I've I've never done a book club, but I feel like if I were to do one like that, I feel like would be um like I would get the most out of something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's not just
Yeah.
like a story going through with people. It's like I feel like there's so much growth for yourself in
Yeah.
something like that. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
What are you writing down your things?
I usually write them down. Usually I feel like when I write them down, they happen. I make them happen because I go back and I look at it. The last 2 years I did not write them down, and I feel like I don't know what my goal was. Like I don't even know. I don't even know where I was supposed to be and what I was supposed to be doing this year. Um,
Maybe I will then.
but I
Maybe
just,
I
yeah,
should.
I feel like it's a good reminder to see it, um, and go back to it. And then you kind of go back to where you were at that moment and why you wrote those things. Like, why was it important to you at that time? Because as we go through our day to day and our month to month and our year, it's just like, life gets carried away. And then it's like, well, why did I feel that way? That was a strong feeling. I should like keep up on
Right.
that.
Right. Yeah, that's a
So
good point.
so I will write them down. I'm going to encourage my family to write them down tonight. I think that'll be the change for us. Is now the girls are getting a little bit older, especially Georgia,
Yeah.
and it would be good for Tristan, and I think it would be really good for Tony too to kind of write them down and remember um, and log it.
Yes.
But
Okay. You've really motivated me. I think I'm gonna run to the store and get um or maybe I just have big enough paper here. I'm gonna make my family and Nancy do that too. Like you know
yeah,
how Tiff does her vision boards
yes, yeah,
kind of thing. Maybe I'm
yeah.
gonna my boys will just love something like that. I feel like this is a good idea. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like what you said, seeing it, being able to follow up on it and that kind of thing. Um, we've never talked about that as a family. So I like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's good. I think it's good growth. And I think um it keeps you honest with what your intentions were in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Whatever they
Yeah.
are. In how little. And you don't have to have 10 goals, you don't have to have 5. And I always call them goals and not resolutions because I feel like a goal is something that you work for,
Yeah.
and you're not always going to succeed on every goal, and you're not always going to, maybe do like the very tip top of it, but if you have it and you strive for it, then you can always work through it. And if you don't complete one of your goals, then you move it to the next year and you put that at the top of your list, and that's got to be my number one because I didn't complete it last year. um so i
That's so
i always call
smart.
them goals.
I see, and I think that that's a good way to look at it because when I was like, we don't write anything down, because I think I've always disliked like New Year's resolutions.
Sure,
To
yeah,
me, I
yeah,
don't know. It just, one, it seems cheesy.
super,
Two, I feel like I would be just like great. One more resolution I didn't make, right? Like,
Right,
I
right.
didn't keep that. Like,
Yep.
yeah, it would make me probably feel like a loser every single year. Whereas, like you said, it's goals, and some goals you make, some goals you don't. That's smart. So I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna make my family do it, and I don't care if they don't like it. Too bad,
Awesome.
so
Love it.
sad.
Love
They're
it.
gonna dislike everything about me
I
this
know.
new year.
Don't tell them I gave you the idea. No. Yeah, so we'll work through that tonight. We'll see how the kids do with it and everything like that. I'll be curious to hear how your family takes it too, and
Yeah,
what they put down. We'll have to share
I
our
know. Take pictures of
2025
everyone so
goals.
that we
Yeah,
can see.
yeah.
I like that.
Segment music by Callie Grace. For more of Callie Grace's hits, follow Callie Grace on iTunes and Spotify today.
Oh no.
What? What happened?
This just said trying to reconnect. So I don't
Oh,
know if my Wi-Fi is messed up right now. We're
I still
back,
have
so
you.
I guess
We're okay.
I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, that'll be exciting.
Well, I really hope that in 2025 my life kind of figures itself out. I feel like 24 it was like, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And obviously this was a huge part of it. Being like moving was
Yeah.
a huge part of 2024 for me. Which is why I sent out old lady Christmas cards, I guess, that the Williams that I sent out. But um it was a huge step. It was a huge move for us.
Yeah.
And
That's
so I
big.
am hoping that 25 kind of just starts to like stabilize everything that we did in 24, and it like the groundwork begins, and you know the stability begins, and the foundation begins, because right now I feel like we're all on this pile of dirt and it's all fresh and new, and we're like
Pile of
sitting here.
dirt.
Well, it's like, you know, like I just
Oh,
feel
like
like
it's not built into
it's
anything
not
yet.
built into
Shit.
anything truly yet. It's just we're kind of sitting there. And part of it probably too is that we don't have a home here yet. You know,
Yeah.
we're renting, and so I feel like that's a big piece of it. And then
Yeah.
sometimes I get the like, are we staying here? Are we not staying here? Are we going to be here forever? Like, what's going on? Like, you know.
Yeah.
So I just hope that with everything that we're doing, that with the steps that we're taking, and with me, especially for myself, building more on my faith and my relationship with God, that I start to feel like it all starts to make sense, you
Yeah.
know? So
I think it
that's,
will. I think I like this is obviously I'm outside looking in, I'm not in your brain. I know stuff that's going on, but I don't know everything. Like I don't know all the details or anything like that, but um it's so crazy to me. Like I feel that the move, I know it was for Tony's work, right? But it's kind of wild because when I look at it, I almost see it as I feel like God needed you to go somewhere. Like
yeah,
God needed you to get out of um because you're a doer. Like you are constantly busy, constantly doing things like work, other activities, different things, like you are always busy. And I don't think we mentioned it on here, but like in conversations with our girlfriends, you've mentioned that you've been wanting to do RCIA for a while. Like it's been something that you've thought about, but you haven't gotten around to it.
right.
And I feel like God pulling you away from where you're at has enabled you to be able to do that and to be able to focus on your relationship in that way. So
100%.
it's so wild because it's like you look at the move and it's like it was because of Tony's work is why you moved. But I feel like maybe that's not why you moved. Maybe
Right.
that caused you guys to move, but maybe
Right.
that's not why. So it's definitely um it's kind of cool to see and think about, because it's not just like, oh, move for work. Like it's
Right.
like, yeah, you did move for work, but out of that all of these other things took place that obviously he already knew would take place.
Well, 100%. And someone else said that to me. Someone said to me when I told them I was doing classes, they said they started to almost cry. And she said, I just feel like this is where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And sometimes God has to remove us from wherever we are in order to make something else happen.
Yeah.
And maybe you needed to be removed from your surroundings in order to make it happen. And it's not like I was doing anything bad. I mean, my life
Right.
wasn't like in shambles. I wasn't like living on the streets or anything like that. It was just that, you know what I mean? Like, you think about those
Yeah.
situations and you always
Yeah.
think like, oh, God has to remove you. Like it's a terrible
It's a
situation,
yes.
and then God removes you, and then you like get into something, whatever, beautiful, and it's all wonderful. But I don't feel like it was anything bad.
No.
My life was great, but it was like you said, it was constant and it was on the go. And
Yeah.
I could not figure out, I was listening to a podcast yesterday while I was trying to clean up some of my Christmas, and they were talking about, someone had mentioned, she's the biggest she's ever been. She's very heavy. And someone else, but the other person that was on the podcast said, yeah, but you're happy and you're being in your career is like taking off and you have love and you have all of these things. And maybe part of it is that. And she's like, yeah, but I don't want it to be, I'm not happy being heavy. And she was just like, you know what? It's just, you can't always be 100% in every category. Something always
Yeah.
has to give. And it's so true. Something always has to give. And I feel like in the situation I was in and in the environment I was in, it's not on purpose, but I would say that special time, that alone time and that time for my relationship to build with God totally suffered.
Yeah.
It was without thinking about it being on the back burner, it was on the back burner.
Yeah.
And this has allowed me to say, I have had the calling in my heart for a very long time. And I have had all of these reasons to not. And now I am removed from all of those reasons. And there is no excuse to not give it. And I did, and I am.
Yeah.
And I love it. And it's been great. And it's been a success. And I hope that it helps build the rest of my family. And I, continue with that. And I think back, there was a week in class where they talked about Mary and her sister Martha, right? And how Jesus comes to their home and Mary is sitting at Jesus's feet, right? She's sitting there, she's listening. She's captivated by everything he's saying. And what's the other one doing? Well, she's
Clean.
hosting. She's
Getting everything
cleaning. She's
ready.
cleaning. She's making the food. She's doing this and she's doing that and she's doing all the things. And she kind of complains, right? She kind of complains to Jesus, like, hey, like, well, maybe my sister could do something, like I'm just over here slaving away for everyone, at my house. And it's like, well, hold on though, she's doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing,
Yep.
and it's like, and I sat at our table and I was like, I am so not Mary and I am so Martha and I need to sit my butt down. I
Yeah.
need to just sit down sometimes and take a moment
Yeah.
and stop being the doer all the time and really listen and really focus and
Yeah.
be present. And that goes with so much more than even just, your faith in religion and your relationship with God. I mean, that's kind of everything. That's your children and that's your husband,
Yeah.
and that's your life of like, sit for a minute. You don't
Yeah.
have to be on the go so much. This week has so not been a a real pee week. I mean, usually I'm like, I've got this done, I got this done, I got this done, I got this done because I'm home and I'm going to get it all done. And this week I was like, it's going to get done. It'll get done. My kids are
Yeah.
happy. They want
Well,
to go to the movies. Let's go to the movies. You want
yeah.
to eat popcorn at 8:30 when you're supposed to be in bed? Oh, eat popcorn. That's fine. Whatever. I don't care. You're on break. It's going to be
I love
fine.
it. That's
And
good.
and let it go a little, let it go and figure it out. And I got half of my trees down and half of them up, and I'll get to them when I get to them, and it'll all get done eventually.
Yeah. The um like you make such a great point. I have been such a B word lately, and oh, someone's going out the front door. I was like, why is someone coming in? I didn't warn the family this time. But I have been so awful lately. And like I'm sure my family notices. Sometimes I don't know what they notice and what, because I can feel when I'm different. Like when I'm like super anxious and when I'm super irritable, I feel completely different. And I've said something to Jason before, like um something about like me not taking my medication or something. And like I hadn't been taking it or whatever. And hey, I remember to take it and blah blah blah. Like I've been taking it now. And he's um like, oh, you always seem that way. And so I'm like, and to him, maybe I do always seem like a certain way. But to me, I feel completely different. Um, and like probably the last week, maybe I have just felt like such a witch, so irritated. Some of it, yes, is hormones. Some of it is also not, though, because this morning I realized I have not been reading the Bible since like the 24th. I haven't read the Bible and I have been awful. And I feel like it's it's one of those things. It's not like I've done it on purpose, but like you said, you have to make yours like you get up, you read, you pray, you work out. Like that's the group that it's in,
Yeah.
right? You're doing it at that time.
Yeah.
For me, like if it's a work day or whatever, I come home and I immediately go into reading the Bible. Because I know if I start doing something else, I'll get completely distracted. It'll be like 11 o'clock at night, and then I'm trying to read and I'm falling asleep. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I haven't been working. And so I have been just like completely off schedule. Like everything's just been like, Kyla was here for a bit. We've like been doing different things and I just have not been in like my regular schedule. And I feel like that is such a part of it, is that like I've gotten out of it.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it goes on the back burner, right? Like it's not that priority. And not because you don't want it to be or you
Right.
mean for that to happen, but just
Right.
life happens, right?
Right.
And so about I think it's about being intentional, right? Like we
Yeah.
have to be mindful and aware of it. Just like you said with the kids. You have to tell yourself like that it's fine that that's not getting done. Like that's fine, right? Like
Yes.
who cares? Who even cares if the tree is up? And you're probably the only one in the house that cares that the tree's still up. You know what I mean? None of the kids care. Tony
No.
doesn't care.
No.
I mean, you are going to have visitors here in a few days, but they're not going to care.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah.
nobody else cares. It really is just you. And I think we we prioritize things based on like what we think these things need to be happening, and we'll let other things slip because we feel like these things have to happen, and
Yes.
not purposefully. But
Right.
I think it's so good that you do that in the morning, that you have made that your I don't do it in the morning because I I can't do it at night. I'll fall asleep. But if I do it in the morning, I will fall asleep also because I'm not a morning person. So if I start reading in the morning, I will fall back asleep. So I can't do mine in the morning either. I have to be like an afternoon kind of person. But but yeah, it's like it's it's crazy how you just realize, I don't know, those things that you have to say, like you said, some goals you make, some goals you don't.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that I think it's like, okay, we have to be mindful of where we're putting that into our schedule and make sure that we are putting it in there,
Yeah.
because everything else will get done, you know?
Yeah.
But the girls aren't always going to want to go see a
No.
movie with you guys. They're not always going to want to sit on the couch and watch a movie and eat popcorn at 8 at night, you know? There's going to come a time where they'd rather be in their room
Yeah.
and not hanging out with you, or they want to
Yeah.
go to their friends and not hanging out with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're so right. It's easy to let things slip
Yeah.
without even noticing.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So, yeah.
So cheers to 2025, and here's to prioritizing the real things that are important, not
Yeah.
necessarily the things that are not, like making sure everything is tidy and neat. And those are great goals to have, as far as like trying to make sure you're not a slob, but
Yes.
also like it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
perfect. And you don't always have to be a doer, and you don't always have to do. You can just take a step back and say, I'm going to enjoy the moment and not worry about it. And it'll be there. The dishes
For
will be
sure.
there.
They will.
All right,
Cheers.
guys. Cheers to 2025. I'm going to also keep it real gangster in 2025. I feel like that's part
That
of my
better
goal.
be on your goal board.
Yeah. Keep it gangsta.
I love it.
Thanks guys. Thanks for swapping with us.
Thanks.